Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Okay, welcome you all once again to our grammar lessons, and it's always exciting to meet with you guys. Inshallah, we are going to discuss inna wa akhwatuha, one of the interesting topics in grammar. As we saw kana wa akhwatuha previously, this also follows the same concept. And you just prepare your mind, you are going to see something just like kana wa akhwatuha. Let me just say the opposite, the perfect opposite of kana wa akhwatuha. The effect kana wa akhwatuha has on the jumla ismiya, inna wa akhwatuha reverse the effect. We already learned that. This is actually supposed to be a conclusion, but I'm beginning with a conclusion to aid understanding as we go on. In kana wa akhwatuha, if you remember, we said that when kana joins a jumla ismiya, which is a mubtada and a khabar, the mubtada and khabar, we already learned that mubtada is marfu, khabar is marfu. That is, they all take dhamma. When kana comes, the mubtada keeps its dhamma, and it is called ismu kana instead of mubtada. And khabar, the dhamma changes to fatha. So it changes from marfu to mansub. So instead of dhamma in the khabar, we will see fatha. So we will hear something like wa kana Allahu ghafuran. You hear kana al-waladu mawjudan. The boy was here, or was available, or was present. So this effect make the mubtada keeping its dhamma and now called ismu kana, the khabar now changing from raf'un to nasb and being called khabar kana. Inna wa akhwatuha has an opposite of that. The inna affects the mubtada instead of the khabar. Now this is the whole of it summarized. Let's get into action and get everything very clarified for all of us. Okay. So inna wa akhwatuha, inna and its sisters. And I've already explained that when we say sisters like this, we mean those words that does the same function or serve the same function or have the same effect on the sentence as inna. So instead of saying inna, anna, ka'anna and mentioning all of them, we just say inna wa akhwatuha, inna and its sisters. Al-amthila, examples. Al-jamalu saburun. The camel is very patient. Sabur is the sigat mubalaga, the extreme form of patience. Sabirun, he's patient. Sabur, very patient, extremely patient. So al-jamalu saburun, the camel is very patient. Now look at they always come with mubtada and khabar, and then you see the other sentence will come with the inna, so that you see the effect. So in the next one, you see inna al-jamala. Now look at the fatha here. From dhamma, the mubtada is now taking fatha. Inna al-jamala saburun. This will keep its dhamma. Indeed, and it means indeed, or verily, or surely, the camel is patient. That is very patient. Okay, and then we have al-haramu. Al-haramu qadimun. Al-haram is the pyramid. So the pyramids, all of them, about 9 or so of them in Egypt. I think there is some in Sudan too or so. They are called ahramat. So if you go to Egypt, you hear ahramatul Giza. Ahramatul Giza. Giza is the particular area, the Giza governorate or the Giza area, the region. So they say the pyramids of Giza. Ahramat. And the haram is pyramid. And haram actually refers to mostly anything old. An old person sometimes too can even be referred to haram. Yani harima, to be old. To be old. Al-haramu qadimun, the pyramid is old. Inna al-harama, see the effect? Qadimun, so the khabar keeps its dhamma. Indeed, the pyramid is old. Okay, now we come to the next one. Fair sister of inna. We have al-imtihanu qaribun. Al-imtihan, the exam, is near. The exam or the examination is near. Here he says, alimtu anna al-imtihana qaribun. Anna al-imtihana qaribun. So I learned that the exam is near. Number 4, az-zahratu nadiratun. Az-zahra, the flower, nadira. If you hear anything nadira, bimana is radiant, is blooming, is glittering, is bright. Az-zahratu nadira, the flowers or the rose is bright. Okay. In the Quran you hear wujuhuhum yawma izin nadira. Wujuhun yawma izin nadira ila rabbiha nazira. Nadira. Faces then will be gradient. It will be blooming. Faces will be bright on that day. Nadira. Yasurruni anna al-zahrata nadiratun. Yasurruni anna az-zahrata nadiratun. Now let's be marking the sisters Kana and his sisters so that we will get them very clear. Here we have inna and inna. Okay, and then in the next one, the first sister of inna is anna here. So we can be keeping them as we go. See how many sisters inna has. So yasurruni, it excites me, anna zahrata nadiratun, that the flower is radiant. Okay. Number 5. It says al-kitabu ustazun, the book is a teacher. Ustaz is also professor, but here he means the book is basically a teacher. Ka'anna, that is the Ukht Kana, the sister of Kana here. Ka'anna al-kitaba ustazun. Asif. Ka'anna means asif. In anna, as we saw above, there means the same emphasis is also verily, but it comes to mean that, like alim to anna, I learned that. Okay, so we have ka'anna al-kitaba ustazun, as if the book is a teacher. Okay, al-qamaru misbahun, the moon is a lamp. Okay, a lamp as in L-A-M-P, light. Ka'anna al-qamara misbahun. Don't confuse ka'anna with kana. Ka'anna, we have ke and anna, not kana. We shouldn't confuse the two. Ka'anna al-qamara misbahun, as if the moon is a lamp. Okay, on to the next. Al-athathu. Al-athath is furniture. Athath, furniture. The furniture is old. Okay. Then we have al-baytu jadidun. The house is new. Lakinna. This is the Ukht Kana we have here. Lakinna al-athatha. See it, the effect. Al-athatha qadimun. But the house is new, but the furniture is old. Al-khasairu qalilatun. Al-khasairu is the ruins. The ruins, R-U-I-N-S, the damages, the damages is few, qalilatun. Okay, so here it says shabbat an-naru. Shabba means to grow wide, to grow, to expand. Shabbat an-naru, lakin al-khasaira qalilatun. The fire persisted or spread. Lakinna, but the damages were few. Qalilatun. Lakinna means but. Okay. Number 9. Al-fakihatu nadijatun. Nadija means ripe. Al-fakiha, the fruit. The fruit is ripe. Is ripe. ليت الفاكهة. Now we see the sister of inna here is later. ليت الفاكهة ناضجة. I wish the fruit was ripe. So later means I wish, to wish. القمر طالع. The moon is appearing or rising. ليت القمر ليت القمر طالع. How I wish the moon will rise or will appear. Okay. Now, number 11, which is the last one of the sisters of inna we are seeing. Al-kitabu rakhisun. Rakhis means cheap. The book is cheap. La'alla. Now this is the sister of inna here. La'alla al-kitaba. See the effect? Rakhisun. Perhaps. La'alla means perhaps. Hoping. Perhaps the book is cheap. La'alla al-marida na'imun. Oh, al-maridu na'imun. The patient, the sick one, is sleeping. And he says, La'alla al-marida na'imun. Perhaps the patient is sleeping. Okay, now let's go into the explanation and see what this means. As I've already explained, we are not going to see any much difference here. We are going to see just that, but then we need it. It says, كل مثال في القسم الأول. All the examples in the first part, that is the lines on your right, if you are looking at the page, the lines on your right hand side, all of them, يتألف من مبتدأ وخبر. They are composed of مبتدأ and خبر. وهما مرفوعان. And as I've said, مبتدأ and خبر are both مرفوع. بمعنى they take ضمة. كما علمت, as you've known. وإذا نظرت إلى القسم الثاني, and if you look at the second group, that's the, if you're looking at the page, those on your left, where the أخوات إن وأخواتها come in. رأيت الأمثلة نفسها. You will see the same examples in the first group coming there. The same sentences come there. بعد أن دخل على كل منها أحد الأحرف. After one of the ahruf, ay huruf, inna wa akhwatuha, they are articles. After one of the articles have joined the sentence. So you see the same sentence, but one of these articles, inna wa akhwatuha, have joined it. So inna, these huruf are inna, anna, so you can just memorize them like that. Inna, anna, ka'anna, lakinna, later, la'alla. Everywhere it is arranged like this to aid memorization. It's easy to memorize them when they are arranged like this. You see, inna anna ka'anna lakinna layta la'alla. Inna anna ka'anna lakinna layta la'alla. You go with them like that. That's how we were taught to the same arrangement before even seeing it in the papers like this. In the books, when they want to aid arrangement, they try their best to arrange the like items. So inna, then you come to Hamza, Fatha of Hamza, Anna, then you come to with the ke anna, inna anna, ke anna, then you come to lakinna, then later la'alla. Okay. وإذا تأملت أواخر الأسماء. If you should look at the endings of the nouns في هذا القسم, in this second group, وجدت الاسم الأول منصوبا. You realize that now the first noun, which was the mubtada, original mubtada, has now become mansub, from marfu to mansub. في كل الأمثلة, in all the examples. والاسم الثاني, and the second noun, مرفوعا, which is the khabar, is still marfu. في جميعها, in all the examples. You see that when inna and its sisters are introduced, the mubtada now takes fatha and the khabar will take is dhamma as it is. The khabar is not affected. Okay. والذي أحدث هذا التغيير, and that which caused this change. والذي أحدث, the one that caused this change. هو دخول الأحرف المتقدمة is the entry of the previous letters you've just talked about. إن وأخواتها. This is what is causing the change. فهذه الأحرف, so this حروف إذن then تدخل على المبتدا والخبر, they enter into a مبتدا and خبر sentence. إن وأخواتها تدخل على جملة اسمية, that is how they say it. إن وأخواتها تدخل على الجملة الاسمية, they enter into the nominal sentence which is مبتدا and خبر. Then they say فتنصب المبتدا, so it makes the مبتدا منصوب, فترفع الخبر, and it makes the خبر مرفوع. So you will see the effect. It says فتنصب, it says فهذه الأحرف إذن, فهذه الأحرف إذن تدخل على المبتدا والخبر. These حروف then they enter into مبتدا and خبر sentence. فتنصب الأول, so they make the first one منصوب, which is the مبتدا, ويسمى اسمها, and so we call it اسم إن instead of مبتدا. Now we call it اسم إن. وترفع الثاني, and it makes the second one مرفوع as it is. ويسمى خبرها, and now instead of just خبر we say خبر إن, خبر عنا, خبر كعنا, خبر لكن, خبر later, like that, dependent on which one it comes in the sentence. Okay, and it says وإذا تدبرت معاني هذه الأحرف, if you should think about the meanings of these أحرف الستة, these 6 letters or these 6 words, في أمثلتها, in their examples as they come, وجدت إن وأن, you realize that إن and أن تفيدان توكيد ثبوت الخبر للمبتدأ. They are emphasizing the fact that the khabar is really fit for the mubtada. How? Let me give you an example. If I say al-waladu tawilun, the boy is tall. This sentence has no emphasis. I'm just describing the boy as tall. I'm giving that information about the boy that he is tall. But if another says inna, if someone says inna al-walada tawilun, in this case I'm emphasizing the khabar, which is tawil, tall, to the mubtada, which is al-walad. I'm actually emphasizing that the boy is tall. That is what they mean by tufidani. The two of them give the meaning of tawkid thubut al-khabari lil mubtada, emphasizing the khabar for the mubtada. Wa ka'anna, and ka'anna tufidu tashbih al-mubtada bil khabar. Ka'anna comes to liken the mubtada with the khabar. It comes as a simile, like we say ka'anna al-qamara misbahun. The meaning, as we even said it, as if the moon is a lamp. It comes to show simile. We call it adatu tashbih, a tool of simile. We used to liken two things. When we say كأن الولد شمسا, كأن الولد عفوا كأن الولد شمس, as if the boy is a sun, trying to describe his beauty or something. Okay, and then ولكن, lakinna. What does lakinna also mean? He says yati or tati lil istidrak. This is necessary. This is a terminology. It says tati lil istidrak. Ay tati lakinna lil istidrak. Lakinna comes to mean comes to give us the meaning of istidrak. Sorry. Istidrak means retraction or retractation, as said, kind of taking back what you said, or contrasting something, giving a contrast to a particular statement. As we read, al-baytu jadidun, the house is new, but lakin al-athatha qadimun, the house is new, but contracting this one so that you don't think the whole house is new, everything is new, trying to let you not get confused. The house is new, but the furniture is old. Okay. Says وهو منع استدراك is defining استدراك وهو منع السامع من فهم شيء غير مقصود is preventing the listener منع السامع preventing the listener من فهم شيء from understanding something غير مقصود that is not intended. So if I say البيت جديد, then the listener might think the whole house, everything in there is new. So I bring the لكن الأثاث to show you that but something in there is not new. That is استدراك. وليت and later تدل على تمني حصول الخبر. Later refers to تمني, wishing, حصول الخبر, the occurrence of the خبر. So if I say ليت القمر طالع, ليت القمر طالع, how I wish the moon will appear. ليت القمر طالع, how I wish the moon will appear. Is wishing that the خبر occurs. And لعل تدل على رجاء وقوعه. لعل also refers to hoping that something happens. Like you say لعل الكتاب رخيص. لعل الكتاب رخيص. Perhaps the book is cheap. You are hoping. But what is the difference between later and la'alla? Sometimes it gets confused, like wishing for something and hoping for something. In English, I don't know if that meaning is there. But in Arabic, later refers to a kind of wish that is hard to happen or impossible. Like in the morning, then I say, later al-qamaru tali'un. The time that the sun rather is supposed to appear, then I'm saying later al-qamaru tali'un. ليت القمر طالع. And let's say at night, then I say ليت الشمس طالعة. At night, ليت الشمس طالعة, how I wish the sun will appear. This will not happen, right? It can't happen. So later, that is its essence. Oh, so in the Quran you see ليتني مت قبل ذلك وكنت نسيا منسيا. Sayyida Mary, when she conceived, then she came and she was saying that, how I wish I even died before that. I wish I died before that. And that has already happened. You can't go and die before it. Later is used for kind of things you wish for that will not happen or will hardly happen. So he says, what tamanni yakunu adatan. Tamanni is usually for li amrin, for a particular case or matter, ba'id al-husul, that is difficult to happen or far from happening. Amma raja, as for raja, which is for la'alla, amma raja fayakunu adatan is usually for fil umuri, in cases al-qaribat al-wuqu, that is easy, that can easily happen. So if I say la'alla al-kitaba rakhisun, meaning that hopefully the book is cheap, and that is easy to happen. You go and the book is indeed cheap. Okay, so he says al-qaida inna wa anna wa ka'anna wa lakinna wa layta wa la'alla tadkhulu ala al-mubtada'i wal khabar fatansibu al-mubtada' wa yusamma ismaha wa tarfa'u al-khabar wa yusamma khabaraha. This is the qaida. After knowing the six, this is what you need to have in you need to memorize these ones. Just very simple. Just use this time to memorize it. إن وأخواتها تدخل على المبتدأ والخبر فتنصب المبتدأ ويسمى اسمها وترفع الخبر ويسمى خبرها. That is, the family of inna, they enter into a jumla ismiya, they enter into a nominal sentence that has a subject and predicate, mubtada and khabar, and they make the mubtada mansub, and the mubtada is now called ismu inna or ismu anna, dependent on the one that comes. And watarfa'u al-khabar, and they make the khabar take its dhamma, wa yusamma khabaraha, and the khabar is now called khabar inna, khabar anna, and like that, dependent on the one that shows. So inna, I'm sure by now we realize that inna wa akhawatuha are the perfect opposite in its effect on the sentence to kana wa akhawatuha. They are the perfect opposite. Kana wa akhawatuha affects the khabar and changes it to fatha. Inna wa akhawatuha affects the mubtada, changes it to fatha. Basically from marfu to mansub. Okay, I'm sure this is well understood, and anything that is unclear, you do well to call my attention to it. I will easily and gladly clarify, as the goal is making Arabic language easy for us all. You hear when you go to the Friday sermon, when the Imam starts this talk, you say, Inna alhamdulillah, Inna alhamdulillah, Inna alhamda. After inna, the noun that comes should take fatha. So if you hear somebody say inna alhamdulillah, the person is maybe a slip of tongue, a mistake or something like that. Okay, so have a good time till we meet again. Do well to revise and connect. For the nahu aspect, I told you before, see, al-qira'atu rashida is just for us to have some eloquence and free tongue to be able to have enough words to use in speaking. But grammar, every piece is part of the building. The moment you weaken one stage, everything can collapse. You need to build it. Every piece, try to understand it very well. So let's say from here, you go to read a sentence and you see inna or kana in there. Any of inna's family or any of kana's family. And you realize that it's not following what you've been taught. You need to inquire. Ask the one teaching, you told me inna does that, kana and these people, this group of words, this is their effect in the sentence. But this sentence I'm reading is not following the order, so that it will be clarified. Not everything can be said here. There are times that you see something that will differ from this a little bit, but it's the same law, but maybe some things are hidden in there, some codes there. You need to get it decoded for you. So question, ask. Okay. We will leave it here till we meet again. It's always a nice time meeting you all. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so, and don't forget to share for the benefit of all. Thank you for having been with me all this while. Have a good time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.